Boys High, 7 Shore, and 8 the King's School. They've gone 150 metres. Here's Laurie Steptoe.
A wonderful start by the powerful King's Crew School, station number 8. Alongside of them, Shore very brightly away. In 6, High School equally brightly away, but dropping back slightly. In station number 5, St Ignatius, a very good start from them. In 4, a good start from Sydney Grammar. They're settling down and starting to lengthen out. In station number 3, Newington, away very nicely too. In station number 2, Scots College, a very bright start. And in station number 1, the favourites, St Joseph's, equally away well. Perhaps a little slower rating. First off the mark was St Joseph's in station number 1, but they're settling now to a very, very good racing with them. A powerful crew, a lot is expected of them. They're in station number 1, and at the moment we're right behind them, and we can see they're steering an excellent course. In 2, Scots, the Blue Blade of Scots. They're going well. 6 man just checking either side. Right, and a bad crab in the Scott stroke has just about lost his blade. They lost 2 or 3 good strokes there. He almost went out of the boat, but he's picked it up again now. But that certainly cost Scott something in that slight dilemma. In station number 3, Newington, going quite well. They're going a little bit for length at this point in the race. A crew which averages 12 stone 5. A lot's expected of them. I know they're fit, and they're going quite well in station number 3. Not a very big crew in many respects, but they have very good leg drive, and away they go. In 4, Grammar rowing quite well within themselves. Going out for more length than some of the crews. A big stroke, and it seems to me that they have a very powerful stern end there, stroke and 7, and they're going very well indeed in the centre of the course in station number 4. Alongside of them, St Ignatius, a crew which a lot's expected of this 8, and they're having a great row. As they stand at the moment, or as they row down the river at the moment, with coming up to what is a half a mile all but covered, we see St Ignatius going well within themselves. They're striking, rate of striking a little higher than some of the crews. They're probably about 36, 37, and they have a narrow lead at this point. Across in station number 6, High School, right off the start, but dropping back. Alongside of them, Shore in station number 7, going for plenty of length, and they too are dropping back. And in station number 8, King's School, finding perhaps that station a little tough for them. A very heavy crew, but they're well back over on station number 8 on the western side. Concentrating at the moment in the centre of the course, and in particular station number 5, St Ignatius. This crew is sitting up to their work. They must expect soon to get some sort of a challenge from either side of them, but St Ignatius well controlled. Just looking at their body swing, it's certainly not immaculate, but their effective work in the water, I'm endeavouring to get a look at the stern of their boat. It seems to have very good run between strokes, not stopping appreciably when they come forward, and St Ignatius going very well indeed there in station number 5. Across the course then in 4, we have Grammar. Grammar have dropped their 8 now, and their blade work is not too good. They're working a little high off the water. Some of their strokes anyway, they have to come down to attack the water, and that costs time and that costs distance. Alongside of them, Newington, fairly bright still in the water, and Newington have I'd say they've been fairly steady on about 35, 36 for the last, say, half mile. The Newington College stroke perhaps happy at this point to sit sandwiched there between Grammar and Scots and hold what is second place at the moment in the event. Station number 2, we have Scots College, and Scots have got over their problem and are now starting to swing along very nicely indeed. But in station number 1, we must say, and I must admit, that I'm surprised to see at this point in the event St Joseph's so far back. They don't seem to be able to cope with the pace which has been set by these other crews. Their race tactics may well be that from here on in they might sprint, but we're right behind them, and I must confess it appears their blades are not being properly covered as they go into the water. And St Joseph's surprisingly starting to drag back in the field in station number 1. Across now in station number 5, let's have a look at the leader, and a competent, efficient, well-controlled leader it is, St Ignatius College. They're unhurried in their work, as well they should be, and when you have this sort of a lead, because they must be at least a length and a half clear of their nearest rivals, and the stroke boy is dishing it up to them. He's not going to let this middle part of the race get away from him, because he knows if he can go into that last half a mile, that with a clear lead of something like 2 lengths, it's going to be very difficult for these other crews to overtake them. Their blade work perhaps suffering a little, but it's still good coverage of the spoon, and that's what's effective today. Those blades are being locked in the water and pulled through, and every stroke is made to count. The body swing leaves a little bit to be desired, but what's it matter? It's on the end of the blade, and it's on the other end where the results are coming. And St. Ignatius going further ahead in the centre of the course as they go down over the closing distance of this mile-and-a-half race. On the far side, King's School in station number 8 has dropped right back. Alongside of them, Shore School has advanced slightly. They'd be in something like 5th place, 4th or 5th place. High School in station number 6 is well back. St. Ignatius in 5, the leaders, as I've said. Grammar improving their position in station number 4. Newington starting to tire in 3 and perhaps suffering a bit, although they may have a sprint to come. And Scots College starting to wind up for the closing stages. We did expect Scots to be well up on this side of the course and with the leaders, and they're starting a sprint now. A little trouble earlier, as I remarked, but they're starting to move up onto Newington, and in station number 1, I guess a very disappointing dropping further back as they come to the closing stages. Not too much of this race to go, a little over a quarter of a mile. St. Ignatius clear leaders and going from strength to strength, it would appear, as we cross for the last time to the Western Bank and to Norman May.
Yeah, they're just passing the point of a mile and a quarter. That's a quarter of a mile to go. And it's St. Ignatius well in front here, a commanding lead, and the big disappointment in the race, St. Joseph's on the far side in station number 1. It's a good race for second between Shore in station 7 and across to Newington in Scots in stations 3 and 2 respectively. But it's St. Ignatius. They're following on their win in the second 8s, and they're holding a lead here of more than a length over the remaining crews. We see the dark singlets of Grammar behind them, but Grammar would be about a length and a half behind, and we have to look over to the left-hand side of the main challenge coming from Newington and Scots. They're the two crews on the far side, and Scots perhaps in station 2 going extremely well. Looking back to this side to Shore in station 7, I think they've dropped out of it, and it's in those 4 crews we can see. First of all, from this side, St. Ignatius, Grammar, Newington and Scots, and well back on the far side is St. Joseph's, a disappointing crew, and the race is in these 4. About 100 to go. It's St. Ignatius a length in front. Coming at them, Grammar, Newington, Scots. Grammar perhaps moving up to be in second place, but it's a full length clear by this crew who've led all the way. It's St. Ignatius, 50 to go. It's going to be a win again to St. Ignatius. Grammar may be second from Scots and Newington, but it's St. Ignatius winning the cheers of the crowd here. And with the 3-4 more strokes to go, they're coming up to the line. The gun is ready. 1 more stroke should do it, and this is it. And it's St. Ignatius first. Second placing will go to Grammar. Third placing on the far side to Newington from Scots. Coming in next would be Shore. Then Kings on this side, Sydney High, and St. Joseph's, the favourite for the race, could finish a very disappointing last. There's a real sensation. St. Joseph's on the last side, on the far side, have finished last in the race. But a wonderful win to St. Ignatius, and a very good win indeed. Second placing would go to Grammar, and third placing to Newington ahead of Scots. And as we saw them across the line, here is the order of the full 8 crews. St. Ignatius, Grammar, Newington, Scots, then Shore, Kings, High, St. Joseph's. So St. Ignatius successful in winning both of the 8s events, and Kings successful winning all 4 fours. Well, the main event is over, and remarkably this year there wasn't a close race in any of the 6 events. Every race was won comfortably. Perhaps the closest race was that one. The margin there was only about a length, perhaps a fraction more, and that was the shortest margin between first and second at any of the 6 races. But let's hear a final comment on the Schools Championship 8s from our river commentator, Laurie Steptoe.
Well, what a remarkable day of boat racing here on the Nepean River this afternoon. Kings so successful in the 4s, and then we see St. Ignatius turn on a magnificent exhibition as they win the Major Rennie Trophy for the head of the river. Congratulations to them and to Albert Joris, and I must apologise, of course, for the fact that I repeat myself, but again we saw that the blades were fully covered. They were a powerful crew, they're well trained. You know, throughout their preparation it appeared that they were maybe being given a little too much work, but it certainly helped them today as they came out and gave a magnificent exhibition, as I said earlier. I'm afraid that with St. Joseph's and some of the other crews, they were not covering their blades. They were not in fact making sure that the water was being properly taken. But whilst St. Ignatius got further ahead of us as we were in the speedboat following them, we could still see the blades being covered. We could still see that even though they were being challenged, they had the controlled rate of striking, they kept a steady rate, and in the centre of the course they moved perhaps to that length and a half to 2 lengths lead, which was all that was necessary, because they were so fit and rowing such a controlled race that it was then just a matter of time before they went over the line, winners of the Head of the River for 1974. Congratulations to them, and a lesson to be learned by all, perhaps schoolboy oarsmen or schoolboy rowers, oarsmen and coaches, that up here those blades have to be covered. They were covered today, and success went to the crews and schools that did it.
And those comments from the river by Laurie Steptoe, who was there with Bert Oliver. So unofficially we see the flags going up now. St Ignatius, Grammar and Newington. We have no margins in times. The second eights to St Ignatius from Kings and Shore, 2 1/4 lengths by 1 1/2 lengths, 7:56.3. The first fours to Kings from Shore and St Ignatius, 2 lengths by 1 1/4 lengths, 5:55.2. The second fours to Kings from St Ignatius and St Joseph's, 3 lengths by 4 lengths, 5:57.5. The third fours to Kings again from Grammar and St Joseph's, 3 1/2 lengths by 1/3 of a length, 6 minutes and 0.6 of a second. And the fourth fours, Kings, St Ignatius and Joseph's, 4 lengths by 1/4 of a length, 6:3.5. So it's been a remarkable day in the sense that Kings won the 4 fours events and St Ignatius the 2 eights events. And we'll just have the result here. 1 1/4 lengths by 1 length, 7:47.9. So the official result, 1 1/4 lengths by 1 length, 7:47.9. And it was St Ignatius first, Grammar second and Newington third. We hope you've enjoyed this coverage direct from the Nepean River at Penrith.